Let's talk about the issue of abuse of that issue now, because we've heard of the issue of special centers. If you want to pass WAEC, there are certain schools you register, and then you know that your result is going to come out in a certain way. Talk to us basically if how legal that is or how illegal that is. Where is the point of abuse and where is the right point?
Thank you very much. I'm glad that this issue is coming up. Miracle centers exist only in the imagination of the individual, assuming that there are miracle centers. It is not in our dictionary. Miracle centers are illegal. As far as WAEC is concerned, they are non-existent. But there is no denying the fact that there are some schools that are miracle centers. But to say that WAEC gives legal status to that is not true. What happens is that we have some called the quack schools, especially private schools. There may be one or two government schools that fall into this category, but majority of them are private schools. So in my own categorization, I say upper private schools, they are the top echelon. Then you have the middle private schools, then you have the lower and the lower. So you find them in the lower and sometimes in the lower. What are those centers? These are schools that do not really do any teaching and learning. We call them examination centers. They are just mere examination centers. They bamboozle their way through. They get registered as operating schools. They go through the ministry. It's interesting because I know you are going to ask me, why did you recognize such a school?
Of course, you already know.
It is not WAEC. It is the State Ministry of Education concerned. We cannot recognize any school that is not recommended to us by the State Ministry of Education in any state of the Federation. But we even go also to carry out a check before we can say registered or not registered. And what happens? What some schools do is to go out and borrow science equipment from neighboring schools and deceive you into recognizing them. Immediately you finish the inspection exercise, they take them back. And you discover that when the exam comes, they have nothing. But you now also ask me, what do you do? Yes, we descend on such schools. We carry out what we call 5-yearly inspection exercise. Every 5 years, we carry out inspection exercise. But every examination diet, we carry out inspection exercise. When we send you to Korodu, for example, you go there, you go around schools, we say on the day of science subject like chemistry, like physics, go to students to school, go and see if they actually have the facilities. When you come back, you write a report that they don't have the facilities to take chemistry. We withdraw chemistry from them. So we have a very robust monitoring and inspection system that enables us to classify schools, those that are qualified to take our exams and those that are not qualified to take our exams. And of course, when they perpetrate exam malpractice, you see that is their stock in trade. Perpetrating exam malpractice, they don't ever get their results.
Yeah, you confirm.
All right.
You're talking of the Miracle Center and all the things that happened there. But the role of parents are very crucial in all of this. They are the ones that even do the miracles, and they're not. There's this writer, a Russian writer, Fyodor Dostoevsky, in his book, The Brothers Karamazov. He says, faith comes out of miracle and not miracles out of faith. So you believe the miracle, that's why it's a miracle. I wake up this morning and my headache is gone. Oh, it's a miracle because I believe it is, not because I slept it off or something like that. And Oloyede himself, the head of JAMB, has always talked about the complicity of parents. How do you guys handle it at the level of WAEC?
It's so unfortunate, Sam, that we still have gullible parents in the 21st century that can easily be deceived.
Or mischievous ones.
They are mischievous and they are destiny destroyers. Those who don't mean well for their children. You go out there to buy expo or to source for expo for your children. You give your children money to source expo and they are attending good schools. But when it is time to write their WAS, that is the West African Senior School Certificate Examination, you take them away and take them to a so-called miracle school in a bush area where they believe that WAEC inspectors will not come to, Ministry of Education inspectors will not come to. They take them away.
It's like a pilgrimage.
Yes, they're back on pilgrimage. So especially, during JAM, they will come from the village and go to another village.
But that's what their parents also do. The parents also travel far to go and get healing, go and get... so it's the same thing. The children are going there to get their miracles.
So religious pilgrimage and educational
Pilgrimage, exactly.
So that is what they do nowadays. You see, some good schools like made, they could have about 200 in SS3. But when it comes to enrollment time, it will just come down to about 90, 80. Where are the rest? They have all, the parents have withdrawn them. They have taken them to so-called miracle centers. And they end up ruining the lives of these candidates, of these children. They throw their future into jeopardy because they will never get any result. We have a monitoring system. Even when we are not there, you think we are not there, you can do whatever you like. You write on the board, you dictate to the candidates. You are just wasting your time. For example, we have an app. We call it IDP, Item Differential Profile. If you cheated in the objective item test, we catch you.
How do you detect
You would think that is impossible. In technology, they say whatever is thinkable is doable. Yeah. So we have done it. And it's in bits. Once your papers are being scored in the objective, anyone that cheated will be detected. And so what we do, we now transpose that onto the essay paper. We now write out the center numbers and the candidate numbers involved. We now send to the marking venues. Examiners look at these scripts to see if there is a correspondence between the objective and the essay. And I can tell you 99.9% there's always a correspondence. So that is how we carry them. And
you get the point where you have to use biometrics so that Citizen James, who is 50 years old, does not come and write for Citizen John, who is just 17.
Yes, biometrics is incorporated in the registration process. Okay. So ab initio is there. It's just to detect impersonators. So you can't come into the exam hall unless with the connivance of the supervisor. You can do everything on earth. If the supervisor wants to sabotage you, he will just sabotage you.
Because there's a candidate even for one of the governorship states now where they said they found out that he wrote an exam in a university and his handwriting in that exam does not correspond with his handwriting. Maybe he did a 100% change in handwriting.
It could be a miracle. Miracles happen.
And we do all these things. We check your handwriting. We check so many things. It's not that you cannot read the same textbook, you cannot read the same notebook and write the same thing. No. You can write the same thing. But we have a way of detecting it. So there are two levels. We can catch you in the examination hall. You can come in with a crib, anything written that is a crib. You can come in with a textbook, you can come in with a cell phone, and you are caught, you're going for it. But if you are not caught there and you think you are lucky, that's what the argument. Some schools, some parents, they will say, but my child is a very good child. He was not caught in the exam hall. Somebody was telling me about 2 days ago. But the school was not told that this child was involved in an exam. I said, we don't owe it a duty to tell the schools. If you even go out of your way to tell the school, oh, I've caught this candidate cheating, they will be begging you, the Nigerian way. So they are not supposed to be told. But the person in the examination hall conducting the exam, the supervisor, will fill the necessary forms. And if the principal's attention is required, there's a column, he will also complete it.
But